Excellent. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the College Outreach COI monthly call. I'm Ann McMillan. For those that don't know me, I'm the chair of the College Outreach COI. And we do our monthly calls just to share updates on our various programs and to discuss any topics that come up as folks bring stuff to the COI that they either need help with or recommendations or want to share things that worked well or experiences with our student members and student chapters that they would like to give a shout out to. So I think we'll start with Eddie and Janine. Do you guys want to give any updates from National?
Well, the one update that I know of is, of course, the competition season is open for the Undergraduate Innovation Contest competition. The details of that are on the sames.org/competitions page. And basically between now and February 4th, people will be submitting a 300 to 500 word abstract. And then a subdivision of this group will review those to make sure that they have dotted all their dotted their I's, crossed their T's. Everything is in order, that this is what we're looking for. And at that point, we will reach out to people to submit for the second phase of the competition, which is a PowerPoint, a narrated PowerPoint that further describes the project. So we're excited that that is open, and, definitely contact me if you have any questions about it.
Did that go out to the entire COI or did that just go out to our student members?
I know
I got an email about it.
Yeah, it should have gone out to the entire COI.
Just wanted to double check. So.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do further reminders, because in November, are people thinking about things that, I can think about this until February. They may not be thinking about it fully. I also want to send out a reminder around the beginning of November for people whose semester might be finishing this year, that they may have a project that they're doing in this semester that they would want to enter into the competition. So again, now it's sort of like a tickler phase. This is like, be aware of it, but we need to send out some more targeted emails and contact the faculty advisors and the post mentors and the students and do all of the reminders, especially for the people who might be doing a relevant project this particular semester. And then again in the beginning of next semester, so that they can register their project for the competition.
I know we have our next newsletter set to go out in January, so I will knock that to Christina to make sure that gets in our January newsletter as a reminder to the students.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I will definitely add that.
Cool. All right, excellent.
Hey, Ann, can I add one more thing?
Sure.
I wanted to go ahead and just let everybody know. I think Ann and a few other people know, but I'm going to be leaving SAME. My last day is going to be December 15th. I think at this point we've done a good handoff to Janine, and she's been doing a great job jumping into the work plan and supporting the COI. I just wanted to convey my thanks to everybody for all the work you all do. And, we always say that we don't do a lot of programming out of the national office. So especially in this space, everything that we show as success comes from the volunteers and the things that are happening at the post level. So I just wanted to pass on my gratitude to all the things that you all do. There are definitely some things that I wanted to get done during my time here, and I think we've advanced a lot of that. The leadership of this COI is a big part of that, making sure that there is continuity and continued investment by the leadership team in what we're trying to pull off. I think we all recognize there's still some gaps that we need, figuring out the student member engagement piece is an ongoing challenge. I think there are other opportunities that we can be testing out that will, hopefully move us forward. I do believe the things that we're doing at our national events is going to be a big factor in providing more value, but also particularly with this group, the conversations that we're already having on the transition between student member to professional member will become key to emphasizing the importance of investing in student members. I do see our student members as the emerging leaders of our industry, and it's really to our detriment if we don't accommodate them in our planning as a professional technical society. So, I really appreciate everything you all have done, and thanks for letting me provide some input along the way. But I'm going to be taking a leave for most of November to handle some personal stuff, and then I'll come back at the beginning of December to wrap up my portfolio. But you are in awesome hands with Janine and Anne and the rest of the leadership team, and I just wanted to pass on my thanks to everybody.
Thank you for putting up with us and making sure we go in the right direction. And what James said, he had a very nice message in the chat for you. Yeah, I already told him I vetoed him leaving, but I guess he's going to leave.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, Eddie, you're going to have a whole long list of questions from us when you arrive.
Well, and I have told Janine, because I'm on leave, I'm going to still try to stay somewhat connected next month. So if questions do come up, I'll be working with Janine to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. But otherwise, yeah, I think Janine's got it covered. So thanks, Janine.
And I will say that Eddie is so super organized that I generally can rifle through his files and come up with the answer on things. But, there's no question that Eddie's departure is going to leave a big hole here at SAME.
Well, there's a chance I might come back as a member. So I'm still confirming my next move, but at least one of my options would have me coming back as a member. So you might not see the last of me yet.
Harassing us.
Well, if you do, make sure you put the College Outreach COI on your profile.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, Eddie, I'm looking for a co-chair for the events committee.
Thanks.
That will be interesting, won't it?
We'll see if my sphere of influence changes when I'm a member versus staff. Yeah.
So, yeah, Anne, back over to you.
Okay. All right. So we had our last leadership team meeting last week, and most of it was planning for the small business conference and our other upcoming events, which I think we'll discuss a little further down in the agenda. And for the leadership team, as always, we're always looking for more volunteers if you'd like to get more involved with the leadership team. The current official positions we have open are the young professional liaison and the assistant to vice chair of events. But we're always looking for more volunteers if you have a niche of something that you would like to work on, or we usually have some working groups going on for various topics. We'll be probably doing a working group for getting more two-year colleges and programs involved as student chapters. That's going to be one of our initiatives moving forward. So if anybody's interested in being a part of that discussion, let me know. We're going to be doing a working group with Jim Wershing. More to follow on that after Small Business Conference. Like Eddie said, we're working on, we'll be having a meeting at SBC with a couple of the COIs, K through 12, STEM outreach, college outreach, young professionals, to discuss how we can all work better together to form the STEM pipeline and make sure we're keeping our student members involved and transitioning into professional membership. So more to come on that, hopefully in December. We'll be canceling the November COI call since it will be falling during the Small Business Conference, and we'll be having our meeting at the Small Business Conference. I believe that's on Wednesday. Am I right about that? Wednesday morning?
I'm afraid to take a look at my calendar
I know, me too.
during my
I
screen.
actually have it open because I am going to be sending out a calendar invite for, or Janina, I might need to coordinate with you, but we'll make sure that there's a calendar invite for that COI meeting.
Yeah.
That'll include the same
And it will
invite.
be in the program book too, I assume,
Yes,
at
all the
SBC.
COI
So if you
meetings.
look in the program book, but I believe it's Wednesday morning.
Yeah, actually, I have a printout of November, so hang on while I flip.
Actually, no, it moved to Wednesday night, didn't it?
Yes,
so.
Corey changed it because this
Oh.
is the combined.
I have
Yeah,
a post-it and I don't know where my post-it is. That has all my events listed on it.
Your Wednesday, the 17th from 4 to 5:30.
Okay. So we'll just jump into SBC since we're right there anyway, and we'll go back to the virtual student chapter. So for SBC, the other cool events that we have planned as of now is Monday night, we will be having a meeting with the Georgia Tech student chapter at Georgia Tech. We're still in the process of planning what time that will be, but it will be Monday evening with the student members there, and possibly a few other student organizations at Georgia Tech. So that should be pretty cool. We're pretty excited about being able to do that in person and actually get to meet some students and get them more involved in the Small Business Conference and over to the conference.
Hey, Ann, you're going to
and-
send that
yep.
information out to us, correct? Because I actually had one of my coworkers' daughters goes to Georgia Tech and reached out to me earlier this
Cool.
week about meeting up. So I was going to invite her to it.
Yes, definitely. We are having our planning meeting on Friday to finalize the time and location, and then I will be able to send that over to you.
Cool. Okay, thanks.
We were supposed to do it like a week ago, and I totally dropped the ball and got it confused with another meeting, and that did not happen. So we had to reschedule for this week. So that should be soon. We should have that nailed down, and we'll be able to send that information out.
Great.
And share that with everybody. And we'll also be trying to do a meetup of student members to go through the exhibit hall, which we'll probably do after the COI meeting at Small Business Conference. So if you know any student members that are planning to attend, you can let them know, but we'll be sending all these out via email shortly.
Well, that reminds me, we will be able to download the registration list in advance because I do this for young professionals. They send out notes to registered attendees. Janine, I'll have to show you how to do it, or you can work with Jackie to pull the list, because we would tend to do general announcements to the entire student group about what we're doing at SBC, but then make sure that those that register know for sure what all is going on.
Yes. So those are what we're planning for SBC at the moment. And just as a general COI-wide note, we'd like to encourage everyone, if they have student members, you can also attend virtually for free. So if you know any student members that might be interested in just checking out the virtual version of the Small Business Conference, it's free to them if they're student members. And we just like to make sure we get that message out in case they would like to check out what it is and maybe possibly attend in the future. Did I miss anything for a Small Business Conference that I should have written down and remembered? All right, cool. If anyone thinks of anything, just let me know. So back to the virtual student chapter, Andrea couldn't be here today, but no new updates as of now. I don't think we have our next webinar scheduled at the moment. We're having a planning meeting soon. And then we'll work on the schedule for the rest of the year and into next year. But for those that don't know, the previous webinars recordings are on the college outreach page, and you can get to those if you sign into your member account. All right. And then in fun news, we have a new student chapter at Morgan State University. They are in the process of getting started. I think we just received their applications that we're reviewing right now, and they should be getting going pretty soon, I think. So we just wanted to give a shout out to them, and welcome to SAME Student Chapter Fun. Janine, did you want to share anything about the Morgan State University student chapter?
I think, Anne, that they're at the stage where you just need to review the paperwork and say, yeah, sounds good, check. And
I think the only question I had was about the wording about the membership categories, and I wasn't sure if that was something that was in the student chapter guidance manual and that we need to update
okay.
because the membership categories have changed.
Oh, okay.
So I think that was my main question. Other than that, I just need to take another look through and I will send that back to you. But that was my main question.
All right.
And if that's the case, then I will send that to Marilyn for her to-do list to update.
Okay. And I'll talk to Eddie offline. It might be that.
I'm not sure if there was general wording that they used to write the student charter or not. So I just wanted to double check about that.
All right. I'll take a second look at that. You did send me an email on it, and I know I flagged it, but I haven't gotten back into it myself. So thank you for reminding me that this is on my to-do list. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Morgan State is a historically Black college and university, very well respected in Maryland, though, major engineering programs. And I know that they have an active ASCE student chapter as well. So I think it's, great that SAME will also be represented there. So
Sounds good.
I will get back to you about that charter question.
Great. All right. Eddie, did you have anything about scholarships that you wanted to share? I know I'm not sure who the email about that Stantec scholarship went to.
It went to everybody. So we've got a list that's student members, COI members, student chapter mentors, and virtual student chapter members. So right now that is I think everybody that would be related to anything we would be doing that went out to them. Yep.
And then did you have anything else on the other scholarship guidance documents and other things that you were updating?
No, it's on my list to still try to pull off finishing before December 15th. So I'm not sure if it'll get done by the end of this month, but it's still on my agenda to try to finish before I leave. If not, I'll have to regroup with Janine on that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any updates from any other COIs that folks would like to share? I unfortunately missed the young member call last week, so I don't have any updates from the young member COI.
And good morning. It's Philios Angelidis. I'm the newcomer to this call. I wanted to introduce myself to you guys, all of you. I'm the vice chair for mentoring from the Academy of Fellows. So I am saluting all of you, and I'm coming in to offer our assistance in terms of subject matter expertise and knowledge and all the stuff that goes with people who've been in the business for many years. And I think the students will be a great audience for us. So I'm here in twofold. Number one, to reintroduce myself to the group. I haven't been part of your meetings, but I'm doing my tours, as many meetings as I can attend, to share what we can bring. For folks who don't know me, I've been a member of SME for over 25 years, led the DC Post, and now I'm at the national level with the Academy of Fellows Executive Committee and having fun mentoring. And speaking of mentoring, this is the first time I heard that our good colleague Eddie here is going to the other side of the fence, which is really bright, Eddie. In case you're in our industry, you just need to know that our hand reaches really far, and we'll find you wherever you are in case you're still with us. Decide to hide, it won't be too long before we find you.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be
anyway, this is the first time I heard he's moving on, and obviously I wish him well. I'm going to follow up with him, but I just wanted to put him on the spot and extend my appreciation, because when I started my tenure on at the national level with the committee, Eddie was very patient, guiding me through the early days learning curve of maneuvering between all the great people. and led a great group, the mentoring advisory group, which we did some good things. So Eddie, I extend my own appreciation in front of your colleagues here, and we'll talk again. So anyway,
Thank you.
it is a good man. One other thing I wanted to share with all of you, one thing that we're doing as Academy of Fellows, and hopefully I have some time to share this. One of the initiatives that we started is to mentor posts. We have a mentoring template, and one of the initiatives that I'm championing is mentoring posts around the country to help them with different kinds of activities that focus on mentoring aspects. And one of the sub-chapters of that listing is college mentoring, college student mentoring, creating student chapters. And right now, in the one initiative that I'm working on with a post to kind of put this idea to use to application is the Mid-Maryland Post. And the University of Maryland is their student chapter. So one of the two activities that we're doing in terms of mentoring within the post is to create a mentoring program to support and exchange ideas with the students at the, within the University of Maryland. So I'm sharing this with you as I see Morgan State over here. Perhaps one idea that I would offer, and this is just, it just came in my head right now, so it wasn't something that I've been cooking and I just wanted to unload it, but I've had experience with this in my DC Post. We get the student chapters to join, and clearly when they join, they have some ideas what they want to get out of SAME. But sometimes I fear that if we don't maintain the connectivity with them, these student chapters will last as long as they're active students engaging. And sometimes the students of different generation are not always the most ambitious, so you got to have all the ingredients to make it work. So where I'm going with this thing, if when we get a new chapter to join, if you wanted to have either through this forum or another forum, some kind of an introductory call in with the leaders and invite different folks within the COI, your COI. I'm willing to be part of an extended group if you want, or members. So we can share with them in a welcoming message what it feels like to be part of SAME and the journey ahead, right? And hopefully we'll get some excitement going and try to, keep this from just being a short time lived event that we got the chapter and we got them in. So I wanted to offer that with you because there's a lot of things we can get. There are students who don't know enough about our industry, what we're doing, what are the opportunities for them. I mean, they go into engineering schools and, they have passion for something, but how to get into a vision about what lies ahead is not always in front of them, and we need to find ways to bring it up sooner than later. So I'm offering that for you since you get the applications and you have to approve them. That may be the time, the milestone where we can initiate and say, okay, welcome. We would like you to participate in this event where we're going to have a forum of assets within SAE to tell you what lies ahead and what exciting things you can achieve, right? So I'm offering that. It just hit me when I saw this because I used to be the mentor for the GW University chapter. And I kept them for 10 years. And then I moved on to some other things. And then unfortunately, the students of whatever 10th year, whatever it was, they just lost the connection to the post. And then it was hard for us to recover because we didn't have that connectivity. And I would hate for that to happen to other people. So that's the context of that. And of course, all kinds of other great things we can do. As I said, I'm here today to introduce myself. I guess I'll put it in the chat, my email address, so you guys can see who I am, where I am. If anybody wants to reach out and continue the conversation, I'm happy to do that. And thank you for allowing me the time to do that.
Yes, no, that's definitely a great idea. So we do have an annual forum that we have for our student members and student chapter mentors and faculty advisors that we do each August. It's part of the Post Leader Workshop. So we've started doing that every year to kind of have a forum where you can kind of learn about what student chapters are, what other student chapters are doing. the different programs that we support and can help them with. So it's something that we do every year, but I think it is a good idea that we might look into reaching out to the new chapters individually and just having that connection. So I think I'll add that to our potential work plan for next year.
And,
You know, and this would take a little more coordination, but you know, it would be at some point an interesting exercise to actually have a fellow assigned to each student chapter. As you know, we've got the mentor that's supposed to be providing the main operational and programmatic support, but as Philios is saying, a lot of times you just need somebody who's been around, has experience, knows how to make some connections. Obviously this would involve a lot of backtracking, but at some point, maybe as they come in, they get assigned a mentor, but then also get assigned a fellow to help facilitate and then backtrack all the chapters to a fellow.
And that would be a good idea. And that fellow doesn't necessarily need to be attached to the post that they're at, because there's a lot of posts that have fellows that are not either A, interested in mentoring, or B, active.
Mhm.
So like, I don't think it's necessary to be connected to that particular post.
Yeah, and this is where the point that I mentioned through the Academy of Fellows, our reach is not just tied to any, you know, we are a group of fellows that we are at the service of the national audience. If somebody wants somebody who's in DC to go mentor somebody in Washington State, we'll do that. Okay, so that's really where I'm coming from. We go beyond just the post level, and our reach is national. Whatever you guys want us to go to help you.
Yeah, maybe we started off, if we can't assign a fellow to every student chapter, maybe we started off as sort of a working group where if a student chapter does have a question, we can send that along to the Academy of Fellows, and you guys can decide, oh, hey, this is something I know and can do, and match it to the appropriate person.
At least for this year, and hopefully if they want me to stick another year, I'm in my second year on the Academy Executive Committee, but if for this time, I'm your liaison, so you can start with me, and the time comes for me to move to something else, I will make sure that I introduce my successor.
Awesome. We will see what we can do with it. Do we have any other updates or topics that folks would like to share before we close out for today?
Yeah, and it's Dick Kohanek.
Hello, how are you?
All right. Do you know what the status is of the chapter mentor award and the changes to the student leadership medal?
I do not, actually. I have not heard any updates on that yet. Maybe Tiffany, do you have any updates on that since you're part of that group?
We're making final decisions, I think this week, but could you do me a favor and forward that to me so I can make sure that that's on the agenda?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, the other thing that I wanted to bring up again is the thing about the age limit on the student membership, 25 years old and or younger. And I don't know about what other people are finding, but we're finding that the students are older now. And we'd like to get that readdressed, particularly if you think about a military person getting out of the service and makes the decision to transition to a full-time student at a college so I don't know what the proper route is. I know before there was kind of a hard decision. It's 25 years and that all years old or younger, and that's it. But how do we readdress that subject?
That is a good question. I have brought this up to several committees and at the board of directors meeting, and I did not actually get a response really to my questions about this. So I'm not really sure what the next path to have this readdressed would be.
And do we have it written down somewhere?
It's on the,
Like-
it's on the website. for
It's
student
in the
members.
bylaws.
No, I mean, what I mean is, do we have like
In the
somebody
in the
stating,
SAE bylaws, it does not have an age limit listed like it does for the young members.
so
in the
I guess what
SAE
I'm asking
bylaws.
for is if one of you two could like come up with, this is what it says in the bylaws, this is what's going on, we want to address this, then I can make sure it gets on the agenda, or I could
Okay.
try to make
I
sure it
can
gets on
forward
the
you what
agenda.
I've
But I need
sent
like
to
real,
multiple other people in the past. So yes. I can do that.
okay, like I just need something that's like solid that says this is from here or there, because I've mentioned it in passing and I've had a few people raise eyebrows at it and they're like, say what now, that are at the higher level on the board. And so I feel like they're not aware of it, even though I know you've mentioned it once before. So if I like send it in writing to the right people, maybe we can get it on the agenda.
Sure.
I mean, I know you've tried, but let me try too.
Okay,
Oh
I'll
no,
take it.
totally. No, I have it all written out because I sent it to everyone that asked me about it when we were having this discussion. They were supposed to talk to each COI chair before the last board meeting where we discussed all the membership changes, and no one ever calls me back to have that meeting. So I sent all the information I had, and I didn't get a response from anyone. So I can forward that to you, and if you can make that happen, cool.
Hey, just to give you a little reality check, one of the key data points that is going to help this argument is the need to document students that do upgrade to professional status. I think the logic right now that's being used is the more people we have in that student status is there's no revenue. Not that that in itself is a deciding factor, but adding more people to that category means, calculating more members that are getting benefit without having paid in. And I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying that that's kind of the logic on that cutoff. We are needing to show that students are upgrading to professional status just to maintain the benefits of a student membership category. But I think it would help this argument if we can say, especially for those that we're investing at the returning, that are returning, that they are likely candidates for becoming professional members once we can, if we can accommodate them while they're going back to school.
Well, I mean, that's kind of complicated if most of the students, quote unquote, are registered as young professionals or not even young professionals or members. How do we know that they were supposed to be students, or that they were in college while they were young professionals? I mean, the membership of students at like 25 is as a cutoff is like so small, and there's not really a way of tracking. They don't ask in your membership, were you a student member, when you sign up, and that might be a way to track it. But of course, all of that goes back to whether or not they can do that in our membership profile.
Yes, and that's why it's going to be working with communities where we already know what their status is along a transition pipeline. For example, Janine just did this with our camper alumni, and out of the 36 recipients, we've got 16 that are still in school. They're all still members because they're students. Those that have graduated, only 2 maintained a professional membership. So everybody else, even though they got a scholarship from us, got an awesome camp experience from us, for whatever reason, they might have gone into a different discipline. They're still in STEM, so it's still a net positive for the nation. But student chapters, we need to be able to say that anytime we're making an investment, we're going to see some professional member return as one of the metrics. It doesn't have to be the metric. I'm just saying the more we can emphasize contributions to the society down the road, the better.
The other thing I'm going to say is that I've had some conversations here at headquarters about creating some sort of a category that, for people who are the best phraseology that I've heard, and this is not one I've had a chance yet to share with folks at headquarters, the student veteran, the people who are, they served in the military, which, SAME should, we should have warm, fuzzy feelings about them because they did that, but they are now going back and getting an undergraduate degree, and as a consequence have kind of aged out of that student chapter category. When we first started having the conversation, it was recognized that maybe we need to have a membership category that is, for people who are, quote, unemployed. I kind of that winced a little bit about for these people who have, they're in school, they're not exactly unemployed. There's a different connotation. But one of the people that I was in conversation about whether or not scholarships were available to them, used the phraseology of the student veteran. And I like that phraseology, and I'm plan to bring it up to the folks at headquarters and kind of say, what about this as a description? But there would probably have to be some way to verify that this person is, over 25 and still a student. They were not talking about free. They were talking, though, about one of the less expensive young professional membership categories. It's like $40 a year. So that's a thought. But we have to have numbers. We have to have documentation that this is an issue, that affects significant number of people, enough to justify why there needs to be a change.
So is there a way to do that with the current database, or are we asking our student chapters to give us that information?
I think it would be the person who would end up having to give us the information, if they were claiming that they fell into that category. Now, what we can do within the current database, I don't know, like what's a simple little type of phrase in, switch it on, and it's easily a part of what we currently have, or if it has to be held off to when we make the database change, I can't really tell you yet.
They're working, George Cordell has told us that he's embarking on a new system and updating the electronic database for a lot of things. And one of the areas that we talked about, both, I know we asked on the fellow side, is to improve the demographics, data gathering for the society. And I think this is important one. I think we should have, if we have a student chapter, we have a student grade level, we need to capture that as where it happens, not on the young professionals or young members, because otherwise it's going to be hard for us to see how engaged the students are. We want to isolate that demographic to see, do we really have a robust student engagement within SAME that we can do a quick search and find, we got, 10,000 student members around the country. Wouldn't that be great, if we have that? And then we know that we got a captive audience. And I say that because, to be honest with you, if we get this $1 trillion budget passed, one of these days, we need to get the students to appreciate what we have coming up to help us, because right now we're lacking in resources. So the more people we get in the mix, the better it is, and we got to find them quickly.
Yeah, and this is Dick again. I just looked through the bylaws. There's nothing in there about the student membership age.
They finally updated the new bylaws, so the new bylaws don't have any membership information now. It was taken out of the 2021 version, but the version that was up there until the board of directors meeting in the spring did have categories of membership, and the student member category did not have an age category, an age limit. Sorry.
Hey,
But
y'all,
we can discuss this further.
Yeah, well, another possible tactic, sorry, just because I want to make sure I get it across, is potentially looking at this as a subject for a STEM corner article. Profiling people that are going back to school, don't connect it yet to this argument we're trying to make about the age and student member category, but kind of let's go flanking that argument by highlighting this community as a community that we service. And, it would be, I know, Dick, you would have some key folks to highlight. I think Orange County was the other group that had mentioned that they do community college work.
Our student leader medal winner of this year.
Yeah, if we can somehow, potentially using STEM Corner as a way of highlighting that there's a specific group of people that we are engaging that are filling this, going back into getting school to then go back into the professional ranks. There might be a hearts and minds angle to tap into there while we are working the administrative conversation internally.
Yeah, and by the way, we have another student at Panama City. Let me see, Madison, who was the other one? Morgan, who was on that STEM story interview with us that we're doing the event in November that Nashville got notified with. But she actually was in, I think she said the National Guard, or she might have been Marines, and I know there's a difference, so please forgive me, where she was an electrician, and now she's going back to school to be an electrical engineer, and she's like 35, and she's a part of our student chapter. But like, I can't remember if the Panama City Post supplemented her membership dues or if the school itself did, but somebody did in order for them to have a student membership. Of course, it's not counted as a student membership, it's counted as being a young professional. So but if you're looking for a profile, she's a really good one too, so we can talk about that afterwards. Anne.
Sounds good.
And that's right now, that's what we're doing in the San Antonio Post. Joe Tiesler, who was the student leader winner, we're funding his membership as an academic member now.
And that's another thing that we need to document, because I don't think that our membership people are aware of the fact that posts are actually paying in some cases, that because I had mentioned that as something that posts would do or could do, and she's like, oh, they don't do that. And I at the time I was green enough to just kind of say, oh, because I thought I'd heard it. But if posts are doing this because there's a significant enough need at the post, again, we need to aggregate that data. We need to be aware of it so that we can make sure that people are making more informed decisions about some of these things.
Eddie, would that be something that we could possibly add to like the financial report with all the posts that they report in at the end of the year? Just like, are you supplementing any student memberships? If so, how many? I mean, I know my post, or there was specifically 10 that they asked for. And like I said, I can't remember if our post ended up doing it or if the school ended up doing it, but they asked for it. So somebody was supplementing it.
We'd have to talk to Post Relations and work through Jill to discuss something like that.
What about just adding it through the student chapter report, since that's something we control?
Yeah, that we could easily do. Yeah, it would then only focus though on the student chapter interface of students that are in this versus.
But I mean, it might at least get us started on a ballpark number.
Yeah.
That would actually help. I mean, and especially if we can get that done this year, and then maybe we work on the other thing for like maybe next year or whatever, somewhere down the line.
Okay, for that, Janine, you would just need to send a note to Justin to modify the form and add any additional questions you want on it.
Okay. And the specific name of this form, I just want to make sure. Is this the semi-annual review? Okay.
Yes.
Since we're updating it anyway for the date, I figured this might be a good time to, if we're trying to get that information, let's at least start gathering what we can that doesn't involve other people's approval. All right. Does anybody have anything else? And we can maybe do a status update on this next meeting. All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time today. And hopefully we'll see some or not all of you at Small Business in less than a month.
All right. Good to see you all. Thanks for the
All
time.
right. Thank
Fun.
you, you too.
Take care, y'all.